All right, so today we're diving deep into a bit of a whirlwind involving a musical legend and a whole lot of misinformation.
Sounds intriguing.
Oh, it is. We're talking about the Tabla Maestro Zakir Hussain.
Oh, okay.
Now, some of you might have seen those initial reports flying around, the ones claiming that he passed away.
Yeah, I did see some of those.
Thankfully, that turned out to be false.
Yeah, what a relief.
But the whole thing really threw everyone for a loop.
It really did. The speed at which things escalated, especially on social media, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
A stark reminder of how quickly news can spread, whether it's accurate or not, in this digital age.
It was like wildfire. Exactly. And, amidst this storm of information, we saw a flurry of tributes.
Oh, yeah.
From politicians, celebrities, you name it.
Wow.
Before the family even had a chance to clarify.
I can't imagine.
Can you imagine dealing with that kind of pressure?
Oh, my gosh.
While also grappling with a loved one being in critical condition?
Absolutely. Hussein's family had to quickly step in and set the record straight.
Right.
Issuing statements emphasizing that while he is indeed in critical condition due to a heart ailment, he is very much alive and fighting.
That's good to hear.
His sister, Khurshid Alia, spoke very emotionally about the wrong information.
Right.
And pleaded with the public to pray for his recovery, rather than, as she put it, finishing him off prematurely.
Wow, that's powerful. Such a powerful statement.
Yeah.
Really highlights the human cost of spreading misinformation.
Yeah.
Especially in sensitive situations like this.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just individuals caught up in the whirlwind.
Yeah.
Even the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting had to retract their initial post about his passing.
Seriously.
Shows how this situation caught everyone off guard and how easily misinformation can slip through the cracks.
It's a reminder for all of us to be more mindful,
Yes.
about what we share and consume online.
Absolutely.
But, this whole situation has also served as a powerful reminder of Zakir Hussein's incredible life and the immense legacy he's built.
Absolutely. While we're all holding our breath, hoping for his recovery, it's a good time to step back and appreciate the magnitude of his contributions to the world of music. He's not just a tabla player.
He's an icon.
He's a global icon, an innovator, and a true ambassador for Indian music.
He is an absolute legend. His career spans decades, filled with groundbreaking collaborations.
Oh, for sure.
And a constant pushing of musical boundaries. Even the New York Times, describing his playing, used the phrase impish strain of virtuosity.
I love that.
Yeah, they called him a fearsome technician, but also a whimsical inventor who, despite his incredible talent, never comes across as overbearing.
I think that's a great way to put it. And that unique style is partly a product of his lineage.
Oh, yeah.
His father was the legendary tabla player Ala Raka.
Of course.
So Zakir Hussain grew up steeped in the tradition. But he also carved his own path, forging a distinct style that blends incredible technical prowess with a playful, almost mischievous approach to rhythm.
It's that playfulness, that willingness to experiment that really comes through in his collaborations. I mean, we're talking about a man who's worked with everyone from George Harrison to John Handy to Van Morrison to even Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Really? Wow.
Mind-boggling.
That's incredible.
It really is.
And those collaborations weren't just about name recognition.
Right.
They were about pushing musical boundaries and forging new sonic landscapes. Take, for instance, his work with John McLaughlin, L. Shankar, and T.H. Viku Vinayakram in the group Shakti.
Shakti.
Yes.
A true fusion of East and West.
Yes.
Indian classical meeting jazz and rock head-on.
Incredible.
How did that group even come to be? Was it a deliberate attempt to create something new, or did it happen more organically?
It was a bit of both, actually.
Okay.
You see, in the early 70s, there was this growing interest in world music. And John McLaughlin, already a renowned jazz guitarist, was deeply fascinated by Indian music. He had even studied with Ravi Shankar.
Oh, wow.
So when he met Zakir Hussain, who was already making waves as a young tabla virtuoso, there was an instant musical connection.
I bet.
Yeah.
And they weren't afraid to experiment. I mean, the way they blended traditional Indian instruments, like the tabla and ghatam, with electric guitar and bass, was a revolutionary at the time. They weren't just playing alongside each other.
No.
They were having a genuine musical conversation.
Precisely. And that's what made Shakti so groundbreaking. They didn't just juxtapose different musical styles.
No.
They truly integrated them, creating a sound that was both familiar and completely new. And Zakir Hussein's tabla playing was at the heart of it. anchoring the complex rhythms and driving the improvisations.
It's incredible to think that this all started with a chance meeting. And speaking of groundbreaking collaborations, we can't forget about Hussein's work with Mickey Hart of the Grateful Dead.
Of course.
Which led to the Grammy-winning Planet Drum project.
Planet Drum was another game changer.
Right.
It wasn't just a collaboration between two musicians.
No.
It was a gathering of master drummers.
Oh, wow.
From around the world, each bringing their unique traditions and styles to the table.
It was like a global percussion summit.
Yeah.
And the album itself was something else. It wasn't just about showcasing different drumming styles.
Right.
It was about exploring the universality of rhythm.
Yes.
The way it transcends cultural boundaries and connects us on a primal level.
Exactly. And it resonated with audiences worldwide.
Yeah.
Planet Drum became a massive success, earning a Grammy in 1992.
Wow.
In fact, it was the first ever Grammy awarded in the world music category.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Really speaks to the impact of the project and Hussein's role in bringing it to life.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't all world music collaborations for Hussain, right? He even dipped his toes into the world of film soundtracks, contributing to some pretty iconic movies.
He did. He contributed to the score for Apocalypse. Now, adding a layer of eerie, almost otherworldly percussion to the film's already intense soundscape.
Oh, yeah.
And his work on the soundtrack for Little Buddha was completely different, using his tabla to create a sense of serenity and spirituality.
That's what I love about his career. It's so diverse. He's comfortable in so many different musical settings. And he's not just a collaborator, he's a composer in his own right.
That's right.
And even an actor.
He actually starred in the Merchant Ivory film Heat and Dust.
Oh, wow.
Playing an Indian musician. And he composed music for several films, including the critically acclaimed Vanaprastham, where he also served as the film's Indian music advisor.
That film was a huge success at Cannes, wasn't it?
It was. Vanaprastham was a beautiful film that explored themes of art, identity, and tradition. And Zakir Hussain's music played a crucial role in setting the mood and conveying the emotional depth of the story.
Yeah.
It's a great example of how his talent goes beyond just playing the tabla.
Right.
He understands music on a deeper level, its power to tell stories and evoke emotions.
So we've got this incredibly talented musician.
Right.
Who's comfortable collaborating with rock stars, composing for film. It all seems to come so naturally to him. Did he always know he'd have this kind of career, this level of success?
Well, his musical journey started remarkably early. He gave his first public performance at the age of 7 and landed his first professional gig at just 13.
Wow.
He even cleverly omitted his age in the booking correspondence, knowing his skills would speak for themselves.
What? That's amazing.
Yeah, it really shows his innate talent and ambition from a young age.
Right.
And it speaks to the rigorous training he received from his father, Ala Raka, who was a demanding but incredibly supportive teacher.
So what was it like growing up with a legendary tabla player as your father?
You know, there's a great story about how Zakir Hussain started playing the tabla. Apparently, he would sit under his father's tabla.
Oh, wow.
Mimicking the sounds and rhythms his father would play during practice.
Cute.
He was fascinated by the instrument from a very young age, and his father, recognizing his son's passion, decided to formally teach him.
Oh. So we're talking about a lineage of musical mastery here. Did his father push him towards a traditional path, or was there room for exploration and experimentation right from the start?
Ala Raka was a master of the traditional style, but he was also incredibly open-minded and encouraged his son to explore different musical avenues. He understood that for the tabla to remain relevant, it needed to adapt and evolve.
That's fascinating. And you can definitely see that philosophy reflected in Zakir Hussain's career.
Yeah.
He's deeply rooted in the tradition, but never afraid to push boundaries and collaborate with musicians from all walks of life.
Absolutely. And there's this quote from an interview where he talks about how music should be more than just background noise.
I like that.
He says he only plays at events where music is the sole purpose, where people are there to truly listen and engage with the sounds.
I love that. It speaks to a deep respect for his craft.
Yes.
A belief that music deserves our full attention.
And it's not just about the performance itself. He's incredibly meticulous about every aspect of his art, from the instrument itself to the environment in which it's played.
That's right. I read that he has a dedicated artisan, Haridas Fatkar.
Oh, yes.
Who has been making his tablas for over 18 years. specifically for him.
Exactly. Hussain believes that the tabla is more than just an instrument.
Right.
It's an extension of the artist.
Right.
And he values that level of craftsmanship and dedication in every aspect of his work.
It's a beautiful way to put it. And speaking of dedication, his career isn't just about playing the tabla. It's about educating and inspiring future generations. Sure. He's been a visiting professor at prestigious institutions like Princeton and Stanford.
That's incredible.
Sharing his knowledge and passion with aspiring musicians.
His teaching is just another way he's ensuring the legacy of the tabla and Indian classical music. He's not just a performer.
Right.
He's a mentor, guiding the next generation of tabla players and shaping the future of the art form.
It's incredible to think about the ripple effect of his work.
Yeah.
The countless musicians he's influenced and inspired throughout his career.
It is, and while we're all anxious to hear about his recovery, this deep dive has really highlighted the magnitude of his contributions to the world of music. He's a true icon, and his story is far from over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as we delve deeper into Zakir Hussain's journey, I'm curious to learn more about the technical side of his playing. What makes his style so unique? Are there specific techniques or innovations that set him apart?
There are. He's known for his incredible speed and precision. His ability to execute complex rhythms with effortless grace.
Right.
But it's not just about speed.
Right.
It's about his mastery of dynamics and his ability to evoke a wide range of emotions through his playing.
I've always been fascinated by how much emotion he can convey with just his hands and the tabla.
Yeah.
It's like he's speaking a language that transcends words.
He is. He's a master storyteller.
Right.
And his instrument is his voice. And one of the techniques that really stands out is his use of what's called bowls.
Oh, yeah.
These are vocal syllables that represent specific tabla strokes and sounds.
I've heard him use those in his performances. It's like he's singing with the tabla.
Exactly. And the way he combines these bowls with complex rhythms and improvisations creates this incredible tapestry of sound. It's both technically dazzling and deeply moving.
So it's not just about hitting the right notes.
Right.
It's about weaving a sonic narrative.
Yeah.
Expressing emotions and connecting with the audience on a deeper level.
Precisely. And that's what makes Zakir Hussain such an exceptional artist. He's not just a virtuoso.
Right.
He's a true master of his craft, and his music speaks to the soul.
That is a perfect way to put it. So we've talked about his background, his collaborations, his technical brilliance, but what about his impact on the world stage? How has he helped to bring Indian classical music to a wider audience?
That's a great question. You see, for a long time, Indian classical music was considered a niche genre, something appreciated primarily by those within the culture.
Right.
But Zakir Hussain, with his talent, his charisma, and his willingness to collaborate, has played a key role in bridging that gap.
How so?
Well, by working with musicians like John McLaughlin and Mickey Hart, he exposed their audiences to the beauty and complexity of Indian rhythms and melodies.
Right.
He brought the tabla to concert halls and festivals around the world, showcasing its versatility and its ability to blend seamlessly with other musical styles.
So he wasn't just playing Indian music. He was showing how it could be woven into the fabric of other genres, expanding the possibilities and challenging preconceived notions.
Exactly. And by doing so, he opened up a whole new world of musical exploration for both artists and audiences.
Right.
He helped to break down barriers and demonstrate the universality of music, its power to connect us across cultures.
It's truly remarkable, and I'm sure his work has inspired countless people to explore Indian classical music who might never have encountered it otherwise.
I have no doubt about that. He's a true pioneer, a cultural ambassador, and his legacy will continue to inspire musicians and audiences for generations to come.
Well said. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's important to acknowledge that while we've covered a lot of ground, there's still so much more to explore. We've touched on his collaborations, his technical prowess, and his impact on the global music scene. But what about the man behind the music? What are his philosophies, his passions, his motivations?
Those are all great questions, and we'll delve into those aspects of Zakir Hussain's life and career in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore his views on music, his dedication to his craft, and his commitment to passing on the tradition to future generations.
I'm looking forward to it. This has already been such an enlightening journey, and I can't wait to learn more about this extraordinary artist.
Me too. So, picking up where we left off, you were curious about the man behind the music. The philosophies and passions that drive Zakir Hussain.
Exactly. It's one thing to marvel at his technical skills and his collaborations, but I'm really interested in understanding what makes him tick as an artist and as a person. What are his thoughts on music? How does he approach his craft?
Well, one thing that stands out about Zakir Hussain is his deep reverence for music.
Okay.
He doesn't see it merely as entertainment. He sees it as a spiritual practice, a way to connect with something greater than himself.
That's interesting. Do you think that perspective comes from his upbringing, being exposed to Indian classical music from such a young age?
I think it definitely played a role. Indian classical music is deeply rooted in spirituality and tradition. But I also think it's something that Zakir Hussain has cultivated throughout his life.
Right.
Through his dedication to his craft and his exploration of different musical cultures.
And that dedication is evident in everything he does.
Yeah.
We talked about his meticulousness when it comes to his instruments and the performance setting. But it goes even deeper than that. He's known for his rigorous practice routine, spending hours each day honing his skills.
Absolutely. He once said in an interview that playing the tabla is like a meditation.
Oh, wow.
A way to quiet the mind and focus on the present moment.
Right.
And that level of focus requires discipline and commitment.
It's inspiring to think about someone who's reached the pinnacle of their field.
Yeah.
Still approaching their craft with such humility and dedication. The reminder that mastery is an ongoing journey, not a destination.
I completely agree. And that dedication isn't just about perfecting his own playing. Right. It's also about preserving and passing on the tradition.
Yeah.
He's a passionate advocate for music education. And he's dedicated countless hours to teaching and mentoring young musicians.
We touched on his work as a visiting professor at Princeton and Stanford. But his commitment to teaching goes beyond the academic world.
Right.
He's also involved in numerous workshops and outreach programs. Sharing his knowledge with students of all ages and backgrounds.
It's clear that he sees teaching as an integral part of his artistic journey.
Right.
A way to give back to the community and ensure the future of the music he loves.
It's a beautiful cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
The student becomes the teacher, passing on the knowledge and inspiration to the next generation. And in Zakir Hussain's case, that lineage goes back generations.
It does, and it's something he's very conscious of. He often talks about the importance of honoring the legacy of his father and the other masters who came before him.
But he's also not afraid to innovate and push the boundaries of the tradition.
That's what makes him such a fascinating figure. He's deeply rooted in the past.
Yeah.
But he's also constantly looking forward, exploring new possibilities and expanding the horizons of Indian classical music.
Exactly. And that's evident in his collaborations.
Right.
He's not content to stay within the confines of one genre. He's always seeking out new musical partners, new sounds, new ways to express himself.
We talked about Shakti and Planet Drum, but those are just a few examples. He's collaborated with musicians from all over the world, representing a wide range of genres, from jazz to rock to electronic music.
Yeah.
He's always willing to experiment and see what happens when different musical traditions collide.
And that willingness to experiment is at the heart of his artistry.
Right.
He's not afraid to take risks, to step outside of his comfort zone and see where the music takes him.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps his music fresh and exciting, even after all these years. I think that's what resonates with so many people. His music is a testament to the power of cross-cultural collaboration.
Yeah.
The beauty that can emerge when different perspectives and traditions come together.
Absolutely. And it speaks to something deeper.
Right.
Something universal about the human experience. Music has the power to transcend language, culture, and even time.
Yeah.
It allows us to connect with each other on a fundamental level, to share emotions and experiences that words cannot express.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
And Zakir Hussain, with his virtuosity, his passion, and his open-minded approach to music, embodies that power.
He does. And his legacy is a reminder that music is a living, breathing art form, constantly evolving and adapting, and that it has the potential to bring us together, to foster understanding, and to create something truly beautiful.
Well said.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious to know if there are any specific performances or recordings that you'd recommend to our listeners who are eager to experience the magic of Zakir Hussain's music firsthand.
There are so many great recordings to choose from.
I bet.
But I definitely recommend checking out some of his live performances.
Right.
There's a certain energy and spontaneity to his playing when he's in front of an audience.
Okay.
That's truly captivating.
Where would someone find recordings of those live performances?
There are a number of concert videos available online, and some of his albums were recorded live.
Okay.
One that comes to mind is Live in Concert at the Royal Festival Hall from 1983.
Okay.
It features Zakir Hussain in a trio setting with Hariprasad Chaurasia on flute and Shiv Kumar Sharma on santoor. It's a beautiful example of the interplay and improvisation that are so central to Indian classical music.
I'll definitely have to check that out. And for listeners who might be new to Indian classical music, is there a particular album or performance that you'd recommend as a good starting point?
You know, I think Making Music is a great introductory album. It's a collaboration with the British guitarist John McLaughlin. And it features a blend of Indian and Western musical elements. It's very accessible, but it also gives you a taste of Zakir Hussain's virtuosity and his ability to bridge different musical styles.
That's a fantastic suggestion. And I think it speaks to the diversity of his discography. There's really something for everyone, whether you're a seasoned fan of Indian classical music or just starting to explore the genre.
Exactly. And that's what makes him such a compelling artist. He's constantly pushing boundaries, experimenting with new sounds, and finding ways to connect with audiences from all walks of life.
So we've talked about his musical journey, his philosophies, his dedication to his craft, his impact on the global music scene. But I'm also curious about his personal life. What kind of person is Zakir Hussain off stage? What are his passions outside of music?
Well, from all accounts, he's a very humble and down-to-earth person. Despite his fame and accomplishments, he's known for his warmth, his sense of humor, and his generosity.
That's lovely to hear. It seems like those qualities shine through in his music as well. There's a joyfulness and a generosity of spirit. It's really infectious.
I agree. And while music is clearly his primary passion, he's also a devoted family man. He's been married to Antonia Minicola, an acclaimed Kathak dancer and choreographer. For many years, and they have a daughter together.
That's beautiful. It's wonderful to hear that he has such a strong support system in his personal life. It must be grounding for someone who travels and performs so extensively.
It is. And it's clear that family plays a significant role in his life. He's often spoken about the importance of the values and traditions that were instilled in him by his parents.
And now he's passing on those values to his own daughter. Ensuring the continuation of a rich cultural legacy.
Exactly. And that legacy extends far beyond his immediate family. He's touched the lives of countless people through his music, his teaching, and his humanitarian work.
That's right. I read that he's involved with several charitable organizations that support education and healthcare in India.
He is. He believes in using his platform to make a positive impact on the world. And he's committed to giving back to the community that has given him so much.
That's truly inspiring. It's a reminder that greatness isn't just about talent and achievement. It's also about compassion, generosity, and a willingness to use one's gifts to make a difference in the world.
Well said. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's important to circle back to the current situation. While we've been celebrating Zakir Hussain's incredible life and career, it's important to remember that he's still in a critical condition.
You're right. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of exploring his music. But we should keep him and his family in our thoughts as he continues to fight for his health.
Well, absolutely. And let's hope that this challenging time serves as a reminder of the power of music to heal, to inspire, and to bring us together.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that's a perfect segue into the final part of our deep dive. We've explored Zakir Hussain's past and present. But what about the future? What lies ahead for this extraordinary artist? How will his legacy continue to evolve?
Those are all great questions, and we'll address them in the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore the impact he's had on the world of music, the ways he's continuing to push boundaries, and the enduring power of his artistry.
I can't wait to delve into that. This has already been such an enriching experience. And I'm eager to see where this journey takes us next.
Me too.
So we've traveled through Zakir Hussain's extraordinary career, from his early days as a child prodigy to his global collaborations and his deep commitment to his craft. But as we wrap up our deep dive, I'm wondering, what kind of lasting impact will he have on the world of music? How will his legacy continue to evolve?
Well, I think his impact can be seen in several ways.
Right.
First, he's undeniably expanded the reach of Indian classical music, introducing it to audiences who might never have experienced its beauty and complexity otherwise.
That's true. His collaborations with artists like John McLaughlin, Mickey Hart, and so many others brought the tabla and Indian rhythms to a global stage.
Exactly. And not just as a novelty, but as a vital and integral part of the musical conversation.
Right.
He demonstrated the tabla's versatility, its ability to blend seamlessly with other genres, and its power to create truly innovative and captivating music.
And beyond introducing the tabla to new listeners,
Yeah,
he's also inspired countless musicians.
absolutely. There's a whole generation of tabla players and percussionists who have been influenced by his style,
Right.
his technique, and his approach to music. He's raised the bar for what's possible on the instrument. And he's shown the world the depth and expressiveness that can be achieved through the tabla.
It's like he's created a ripple effect, spreading outwards from his own performances and touching the lives of musicians all around the world.
I love that analogy. And it's not just about the technical aspects of playing. He's also inspired a deeper appreciation for the tradition of Indian classical music.
Yeah.
Its rich history, its spiritual depth, and its potential for innovation.
And that brings us to another aspect of his legacy, his commitment to education.
Right. Through his teaching, workshops, and mentorship. He's ensuring that the tradition of Indian classical music continues to thrive, passed down to future generations of musicians.
Right.
He's nurturing the seeds of a vibrant musical future, and that's something truly special.
It's a beautiful way to think about it. But we're also in an age where technology is constantly changing the way we experience and consume music.
Uh-huh.
How do you think that will affect the way Zakir Hussain's music is appreciated and shared in the years to come?
That's an interesting question. On one hand, technology can make music more accessible than ever before. Streaming platforms and online videos
Right.
allow people all over the world to discover and enjoy his music,
Right.
regardless of geographical boundaries.
So in a way, technology can help to further expand the reach of his music, introducing it to even wider audiences.
Exactly. And it can also create new avenues for collaboration and experimentation.
Right.
Imagine the possibilities of virtual performances, where musicians from different continents can come together
Oh, wow.
and create music in real time, breaking down geographical barriers.
That's mind-blowing. I can already see Zakir Hussain embracing those possibilities, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and creating something truly unique.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. He's always been an innovator, someone who's willing to embrace new technologies and explore new ways of making music.
So while the future is always uncertain, it's safe to say that Zakir Hussain's music will continue to resonate with people for generations to come.
I have no doubt about that. His artistry is timeless, his impact profound, and his legacy will continue to inspire and captivate musicians and audiences alike.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to circle back to something you said earlier about the power of music to heal and to bring us together. It seems especially relevant now, as Zakir Hussain is still facing a health challenge.
You're right. Music has this incredible ability to transcend boundaries, to touch our hearts in ways that words often cannot.
Yeah.
And in times of difficulty, it can offer solace, comfort, and a sense of connection.
I think we've all experienced that in our own lives. Music has a way of lifting our spirits, of making us feel less alone, of reminding us of the beauty and resilience of the human spirit.
Absolutely. Zakir Hussain's music, with its intricate rhythms, its soaring melodies, and its infectious joy, has that power in spades. It's a celebration of life, of creativity, and of the human capacity for connection.
Beautifully said. And I think that's a perfect note to end on while we await news of his recovery. Let's all take a moment to appreciate the gift of music, the way it enriches our lives and brings us together.
Yeah.
And let's celebrate the extraordinary legacy of Zakir Hussain, a true master of his craft and an inspiration to us all.
We're here.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive.
Okay.
Hope you've enjoyed exploring the world of Zakir Hussain with us. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep those requests coming. We love hearing what you want to explore.